Hi everyone, welcome to episode 16 of Behind the Brush. I'm Joy Baker with All About Art Gallery, and today I'm joined here in the gallery with one of our local artists, Nora Catherine. Hi Nora, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thank you.
So Nora primarily makes jewelry, but she's an artist of many elements. She lives here in Hendersonville now, but you've not always lived here, right? You're originally from the Pacific Northwest?
Correct.
Nice. Do you feel like living here or living there has influenced your art in any way?
Definitely, yeah. I grew up actually in Southern Oregon on a farm and was a little feral, running around in the woods. So like nature is a big influence on my life and in my work. And it is very different here than in the Pacific Northwest, but it has its own beauty in nature, which heavily influences my work.
I can definitely see that even with looking at the pieces that we have here right now. You have a lot of different, even though these are all made of some kind of metal, they kind of represent something organic or found in nature. Tell me a little bit about kind of what we have in front of us here. Is there a certain piece that you really like? Or?
I started out doing more of the leaves, and like the ginkgo leaf was something that I've done quite a long time, but you know, nature's like never goes out of style, so it's not, it never goes out of style. But the ones that really have meaning to me are the birds. I started out just making birds based on what was in my backyard. I love to watch birds. And they've kind of grown into this wonderful thing where people will get them in honor of a lost loved one, or I've had people buy them because of, you know, I'm celebrating getting over cancer. And so symbolism has really come into what I do. Mm-hmm. So they all have a purpose and meaning to me. Mm-hmm. So
is feeling kind of what you aim to communicate through your artwork? Like you want to look at it and it kind of resonates in some way, whether it's like an emotion or a connection to nature?
So I would say that what I want to capture in that is feeling, also like capturing memories. Mm-hmm. Like cherished moments in your life, celebrating those moments. Mm-hmm. And then there's symbolism behind different pieces that I do, like the cardinals, of course, and mm-hmm. the ginkgo leaves being, for me, was like, the symbolism is like profound endurance and peace and love. And I love that about it, based on the survival of how ancient the ginkgo tree is. And I'm like, that sounds like every woman. Survival and profound endurance. So
nice. So this piece that's kind of like a purpley blue color, that's a ginkgo leaf, right?
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about how you achieve the color that's on that. That's not a paint, right?
It's not paint. I use a couple of different varieties of patina. Mm-hmm. There's heat patina, where it bonds to the metal through heat with a torch, and the other is a chemical reaction patina, often like what you see with copper statues, where it'll turn teal. It's a chemical reaction. So I like to blend the two together and see what happens. Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen, so you'll get a range of things, and I try and match them together, but mm-hmm. It'll do its own thing sometimes. But
it's got to make it hard to create like a line of something. Like if you want to make multiple of the same thing, if you've experimented and you're like, well, how did I do that?
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I can do certain ones pretty well, and I always try and focus on getting the two earrings to match. Mm-hmm. So they're a pair, but they're not identical, but that kind of makes them like little tiny individual works of art for mm-hmm. me. So I am definitely clear about the fact that they can vary. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's sometimes you get that one wonderful piece and you're like, I can't do this one again.
I think that's what makes this jewelry so special, yes. Really, is that you're not going to find any one piece anywhere else. I mean, each piece is definitely unique and all its own. I think that's really cool. And I think that's what our clients really love about it as well. They come here and they want to find a unique handmade gift item, from a person who actually lives here in this town, and this is like definitely it.
Very handmade.
So you've been doing this a long time. How would you say you've evolved as an artist over the years? Is it mostly through trial and error, or do you take classes?
I'm a hands-on learner. I took a soldering class so I wouldn't blow up my house, basically. But I mean, I remember I started with beading originally, where a lot of people start is beading on cloth and then making beaded jewelry. Mm-hmm. with my apparel background. And then I was like, I want to figure out how to manipulate the metal. And I was like hammering on the cement floor because I didn't have an anvil. I didn't have tools. I'm just figuring it out as I go. And then it's like somebody gifted me a beat up old anvil from who knows when, which was pitted and became my signature texture in the metalwork. And it evolved from doing a lot of beaded stone pieces to then being the signature metalwork, which is what the galleries and boutiques wanted, because it was something not everybody could do, and it was unique. So it just kind of became my thing. And
so the anvil itself was kind of pitted?
Yeah,
and
it's all
as you
beat
hammered
up
it,
and pitted. And yeah, so I'll put the flat metal or the wire into the grooves where I want it and then hammer it. And so then when you lift it up, it has like the bumps and grooves on it.
Oh.
So
accidental art.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Well, what words of wisdom do you think, or would you say that you would have for any, up and coming artists? Because you're not just a jewelry artist; like you are multimedia, right?
Yes. I do drawings that kind of go with each piece, with each collection. So I love to tie my artwork together with the jewelry that I'm making. And sometimes it's inspired by one's inspired by the other. I would say, as advice, just playing, trying things out, new materials, or seeing how it'll, work in a different way. Networking with other artists, doing collaborations. Like, I have come up with the best stuff when I was like, yeah, I'll do a runway show. Like, it gives me permission to go big, and like I just go crazy and collaborate with a jewelry, or I'm like clothing designer or a swimwear designer or something like that, to like work together on a project in a way that it gives you parameters that you wouldn't normally have, unless you're not in your studio in a bubble. Yeah. So I would say networking, talking to other people, getting yourself out there.
When you're working in your studio, are you just hyper focused on something, or do you have something like music on in the background, or a movie playing, or anything like that?
Books on tape or audiobooks are my friend. I like listen to music. It depends on what I'm working on, if I need to really focus on something. But yeah, I like to have different music going on, and back and forth between different types of things. So I'll be either at the soldering wheel, or I'll be soldering, or the polishing wheel, or hammering, and then back and forth with the different stations and stuff. So a lot of, if I'm in there a lot, I'll be watching like, some TV show series that I'm like blow through the whole season while I'm working.
Nice.
Yes.
So you work on commission, right? Like you only make things for yourself. Like someone could commission you to make something specific for them.
Yes. The one thing about when you work with an artist, or you buy something that's made by an artist, is it can be, even if it's not custom, it can be customized, different length, a different metal, different chain, different ear wires.
Like a little bit of personalization.
Yeah, or like I had a gal who was like, I can only wear titanium. Can you? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like researching it. So I'll make titanium ear wires for you. Yeah. So that makes it, yeah. And I have done pieces where they're like, I like this piece, but can you do it in this metal and a different stone?
Is there a one that you can think of that you have custom made for someone or personalized for someone that sticks out in your memory as like, this is really special or especially unique?
I would say that one that I did was because I have my Blue Jay collection and I have my Cardinal collection. And she wanted a cardinal and a blue jay on a branch as a necklace. And so we discussed about like which way the birds would go and the meaning behind them, and so I made that for her, and it was like different people for each bird she had lost. So that was one that those have meaning. I have had other ones where they wanted like every single piece in the collection and altered. So like, okay, here we go.
I can do it.
Yes.
Well, what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm really focusing on bringing where I come from, the stones. I've got a piece here, like adding gemstones back in with the metalwork. Because I kind of got away from the stones. They were an add-on thing, and then I went to the metalwork. So I'm now trying to focus on combining the stones, which can be hard with a collection because it's less, it's harder to like make a collection because the stones are not exactly the same.
Gotcha.
So then you take a photograph of something and it's, you know, it's a little bit different every time, or sourcing the stones. So, but that's something I'm working on is kind of combining those back in because I love the gemstones.
When you're starting a new design, do you typically, like, you have your stone and you look at its shape and then whatever metal is going to be behind it, does that kind of come along with the color or size of the stone itself? Or do you have like, I want to do a moon or I want to do a goddess and then find a stone to go on that?
Both. I have where like this is a design that I've done before, but I just added the stone onto it, and then I have another piece that I'm working on that the shape of the cut of the stone is depicting the silhouette that it's what does it fit into to create a design. So it can be one or the other.
Gotcha. Interesting. Well, this has all been really, really great information. I'm so glad that you came to talk to me today.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, thank you. For anyone who doesn't know, we are all about art gallery. We're located in the City Square Shopping Center in Hendersonville, Tennessee. We represent over 45 different local artists like Nora, and we have a lot of selection of handmade jewelry items, artwork, everything you can think of that's all about art. So come see us, and thanks again for coming. And thank you.